Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ahad Fiverrwala and today I am again with another new interview guest. So today's my guest is Ron. So without wasting time, let's get started. So hello Ron, how are you doing?
I'm better and better. How are you, Ahad?
I am fine. First of all, thank you so much for your time and come to my interview.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, so my first question on your screen is who is Ron Matthews and what is his professional background?
Who is Ron Matthews? Well, my professional background is that I served as an engineer and physicist in the field of electromagnetics and electromagnetic compatibility for about 35 years. Among other places I've worked is Draper Laboratories, Raytheon Company, and Cisco, to name just a few.
Okay, very nice. So my next question on your screen is, I am sorry. What roles did you hold at Cascio System, MIT, Draper Labs, and RTX?
Well, at Cisco, I was an engineering consultant. I was a consultant to the technical staff there in the field of electromagnetic compatibility. At MIT Draper Labs, I was a senior member of the technical staff serving in the field of electromagnetic environmental effects. And my responsibility was to redesign the magnetics for a guidance system in a naval missile. And at Raytheon, the same. I was a technical lead in Raytheon's electromagnetic environmental effects group, designing shielding enclosures and magnetic filtering for naval warfare devices.
Okay, amazing. So my next question on your screen is, what motivated Ron to shift from engineering and physics to exploring the mind technologies?
Uh, Exploration of mind technologies, or more appropriately, technologies of what it means to be human, has something I've been passionate about my whole life since I was 16. And when I had spent around 35 years in the technical field, I felt driven to follow my passion. And so I left the high tech industry and began to develop what I now call Master the Science of Miracles.
Okay, very nice answer. So my next question on your screen is, what is master the science of miracles?
Master the Science of Miracles is a reliable, repeatable, step by step process for transforming your thoughts into your physical reality.
Okay, very nice and amazing answer. So my next question on your screen is, how does master the science of miracles blend scientific insight and spiritual wisdom?
That's a really good question, Ahad. Um, when I began to investigate some of the practices of the shamans of various indigenous cultures, it became apparent to me that these people were applying principles which, in modern day parlance, we would call quantum entanglement, or the understanding that all elements of creation are connected with all other elements of creation. And so, rather than us humans being occupants of a planet separate from each other, we are the planet and we are all essentially one. And so, I like to, in kind of a tongue in cheek way, I like to say that these indigenous shamans were the first quantum physicists because they had an understanding of this science that goes back 10,000 years.
Okay, very nice answer. So my next question on your screen is, what are the core principles behind master the science of miracles?
The core principles are that we humans are not just a body carrying around a brain. We're much more than that. And the the core principle is that we are actually three beings in one. And so if you're anyone in your audience who has studied psychology is aware that Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung, two very famous psychiatrists from latter, excuse me, the latter part of the 19th century, came up with the idea of the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. And then Jung postulated the idea of the collective superconscious. So, in the science of master the science of miracles, and this is inherited from the ancient indigenous practices of some of the cultures around the world, these so called minds are much more than just minds, so to speak. They're viewed as being discrete, sentient beings that interlock and cooperate and create the person that you see when you look in the mirror. But even more important than that is understanding what the role and the scope of each of these three parts of ourselves is and how to make them coexist and cooperate in a harmonious way. And people who have succeeded in doing this have been seen to be unstoppable.
Okay, very nice. So my next question on your screen is, how does Ron define miracles in everyday life?
Well, my definition of a miracle is quite different from the definition you find in the dictionary. Um, Webster's dictionary defines a miracle as an event or happening that occurs which seems to be supernatural or beyond ordinary human capability. And I believe that that definition is categorically false. I view it as a definition that has an agenda behind it. For me, as the creator of Master the Science of Miracles, a miracle is something that we are able to cause to happen by applying the science of these three selves. And so the ability to spontaneously heal an illness, which seem to be miraculous, unless you understand how powerful each one of us truly is. Once you understand how powerful you are, how powerful I am, how powerful every person watching this interview is, when you understand that, then these things no longer seem to be miraculous. And I have a television show on the local cable station in the city where I live. And when I sign off, I always sign off by saying, make miracles an ordinary part of your life. And I say that because all of us can. It's just that we have been conditioned to believe that we are ordinary. And none of us is ordinary. We are all extraordinary. And you are disappearing, Ahad. Did I lose you? I'm talking to myself. Hello, Ahad, are you still there? Well, folks, I'm just going to sit here and look at the screen until Ahad returns to join us. There you are. You're back.
Yes, yes, there's some internet issue. So, yes, sorry. So, my next question on your screen is, what ancient mind technologies that does Ron focus on the system?
Well, yeah, the technologies I just referred to. And when in this modern day, when we think about technologies, we think about things like artificial intelligence, things that involve cell phones, computers, 5G, all that stuff. But the greatest technology there is the technology of the human being. And that technology is enshrined in our uh, unification and harmonization of these three parts of our being. One of the most mysterious parts of our being is our subconscious self. We think of it as a subconscious mind, but it has both local and non-local attributes. And so it has a relationship to the human body that a pencil might have to a pencil box. When I went to school long before you were born and probably before your parents were born, we had a pencil case we took to school with us. We had our pens and our pencils in the pencil box. When we needed to use them, we took them out, we wrote, put them back. Your subconscious is very much like that. So when you need to understand something that is not local to where you are, your subconscious can actually travel and ascertain the information you're looking for. And this process is what we call a non-local process. It transcends time and space. So that's one of the technologies that are used in the Master of the Science of Miracles system.
Okay, Ron, very amazing. So my next question on your screen is how did Ron's experience at Cisco System shape his current teachings?
Not at all, really. None of my experiences at a given company shaped my experience. What did shape it was my understanding after 3.5 decades of observing electromagnetic phenomena and comparing them with phenomenon of the human energy system. That is what shaped my understanding, not any one company, because none of these companies care at all about what I'm doing. They're all narrowly focused on what we would refer to as left brain processing, devoid of any real intuition.
Okay, Ron, very amazing. So my next question on the screen is what scientific theories influence master the science of miracles?
Probably the most important, well, a couple of them. One is the idea of non locality from quantum mechanics. So, Dr. Fred Wolf, who was a professor emeritus at UCLA, once said, "There is no out there out there. Everything is in here." The other scientific theory that comes to bear on what I'm doing is Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. And this was eloquently demonstrated by a revisiting of an old experiment that was done back in the, I guess, the latter part of the 19th century, early part of the 20th century, called Young's double slit experiment. And in that experiment, what Young did was he had a light source, like a projector. He had a screen, and in between the light source and the projector, he had a barrier that had two slits in it. So when he covered one slit or the other, what he saw on the screen was a dimmer form of light than what was being projected by the projector. But when he opened both slits, what he saw was an alternating pattern of dark and light lines called an interference pattern. So fast forward to the 20th century, this experiment was redone, but now it was done at the microscopic level using an electron gun, a screen, and a barrier with two slits. Now, we think that, or we've always thought, that electrons are particles. They're like little paintballs. And so if you fire these electrons at this barrier with two slits, what you should get is two discrete lines of where the electrons hit the screen. That was not the case. What happened, what they got was an interference pattern as though the electron was behaving like a wave. And this confused these scientists a great deal. I'm not going to tell you the whole story because it's long and boring. But fast forward to the end, they decided that what they needed to do was to put an electron detector at the barrier so that each time an electron passed the barrier, this detector would register an electron going past. So they ran their experiment for an hour or so, and this time when they looked, they discovered that what they had was two discrete lines like they had expected before. So what changed? The thing that changed was now there was an observer, and the observer was the electron detector. It was acting as an agent or a proxy for these scientists whose expectation was these electrons should behave like particles. And so that was a very important flash of understanding for all of science, because now, as Heisenberg had predicted, you can't observe a particle without changing it. You can know its energy level, but you can't know its position. Or you can know its position, but you can't know its energy level, because looking at it changes it. If that is true at the subatomic level, it has to also be true in the macrocosmic level where we are. And in fact, it is. And that is one of the scientific principles that comes to bear in Master the Science of Miracles.
Okay, Ron, very amazing. So my next question on your screen is, how does Ron incorporate engineering concept into mind technologies?
Um, the concepts of proposing a hypothesis, testing the hypothesis, examining the data, and recalibrating if necessary. That's called the scientific method. And that's how I've done everything. And so the engineering particularization of that idea is to apply it to whatever system you are trying to understand. And so in this case, when I was developing Master the Science of Miracles, when I would see something, when I would discover something I thought was extraordinary, I would test it in a larger forum. So when I was trying these things on myself and I finally hit on the key principle, the results were amazing, but that was not good enough. I had to be able to take other people through this system to see if they got similar results to what I was seeing. And for every single person who did the work, because there is work involved in the Master of the Science of Miracles system, every single one of them went through this system, experienced a profound, life-changing transformation. So that's how I apply engineering principles to this whole system of mine.
Okay, Ron, very amazing answer. So my next question on your screen is, can master the science of miracles be appealed to personal and professional goals?
Absolutely. Whatever your goal is, as long as that goal conforms to certain laws of programming, then whatever you focus on, you can and you will manifest. Where Master the Science of Miracles is extraordinary is that every component of this system comes together to create that process. And I say that way because there are many other excellent systems out there. And all of them seem to have been meant to originally have been parts of one holistic system, going back to antiquity. So, law of attraction, the idea of prayer, the idea of accessing the deeper brainwave states, all of these things are existing now, but in separate, discrete systems. Master the Science of Miracles integrates them into one continuous system. That's the step by step process. You have to do step one, and then step two, and then step three, and then the miracles happen. So, whatever it is you desire to achieve, whatever you want to do, to be, or to have, you can use Master the Science of Miracles to achieve that.
Okay, very nice. So my next question on your screen is, how does master the science of miracles help people achieve extraordinary results?
I just addressed that in the previous question.
Okay, thank you. So my next question on your screen is, what does Ron believe are the limitations of the mind, if any?
The only limitations are our own beliefs about what we can and cannot do. Do you have to go, Ahad? Do you have to go? I see you talking to someone else. Do you need to leave?
No, no, there is somebody comes. We continue, please.
Okay. The only limitations are what you believe you can achieve. And when I say believe, it's not like I believe in this religion or that religion. It's a belief of knowing. So if I know that if I drop this pen, it's going to fall and hit my desk. I know because it's the law of gravity. For me, that's a belief. I know that when I apply these principles, and I have the belief that by applying them the way they are presented in this system, there is nothing you can't achieve.
Okay, nice answer. So my next question on your screen is, how does Ron system help individuals step into their subconscious mind power?
When you talk about the subconscious mind, there are three components, or there's more than that, but three major ones, and they're called brainwave states. And so when you're falling asleep, when you are daydreaming, when you're in a meditative state, you've entered into what scientists call the alpha brainwave state. That's one of the subconscious mental states. And below that is the theta brainwave state, which is a deep meditative state. And then there's a delta brainwave state. And in delta, we have no conscious awareness. That's when we are in deep, dreamless sleep. Well, it turns out that when you have learned to go to the alpha state intentionally, any thoughts that you focus on while you're in the alpha state have a greater effect on physical reality than those same thoughts focused on at the beta brainwave state, which is where you and I are right now. And so I borrowed a mental exercise from another person, very famous person whose name I won't mention, for teaching people to go to the alpha state and stay there for as long as they need to. Because we all go to the alpha state several times during the day. Anytime you learn something new, within 20 minutes, you will find yourself going into the daydream state. And that's how your subconscious processes new information. But you go there accidentally. My system teaches you to go there on purpose. So I intend to go to alpha. I intend to be there for 10 minutes. And during those 10 minutes, I intend to focus on whatever my desired outcome is. And that's how the inner brainwave states are used to affect your reality in this 3D world of dense matter.
Okay, very nice answer. So, thank you so much, Juan, for your interview. So, this was our today's interview. I hope you like it and learned something new from this interview. So, goodbye, Juan. See you again. Allah Hafiz, Pakistan Zindabad. Bye.